In the bustling heart of New York City, amidst towering skyscrapers and neon-lit advertisements, stood a discreet building housing Dr. Evelyn Mercer's state-of-the-art veterinary clinic. This sanctuary for the world's most exotic creatures gained renown due to Dr. Mercer's extraordinary ability to diagnose and treat animals that baffled other veterinarians. Her reputation for solving the unsolvable attracted clients from around the globe. One afternoon, while Dr. Mercer was examining a particularly feisty chameleon whose scales were changing color at an unusually rapid pace, her assistant interrupted her urgently. "Dr. Mercer, you need to see this," she said, holding a sleek metallic device flashing with an incoming transmission. Curious, Evelyn took the device and activated its screen. The message that appeared was unlike anything she had ever encountered, encrypted with a complex cipher that hinted at an interstellar origin. After moments of decoding, a holographic image of a blue-skinned alien with shimmering silver eyes materialized before her. Introducing himself as Ambassador Trex of the Intergalactic Council, he spoke with a calm yet desperate tone. "Ambassador Trex, how can I assist you?" Evelyn asked, her curiosity piqued. "Dr. Mercer, we have observed your work from afar and urgently need your unique skills. The Hydra Shi'Na, a creature of immense power and significance to our galaxy, is suffering from an unknown illness. It is the guardian of our planet Sharia, and its health directly impacts our world's stability," Trex explained, his voice filled with urgency. "We have tried everything, but none of our methods or experts have succeeded. You are our last hope." Evelyn was stunned. Her work had taken her to many places and presented numerous challenges, but nothing on this cosmic scale. The idea of venturing into space to treat an alien creature was both exhilarating and terrifying. "Can you provide me with any data you have on the Hydra?" she inquired, her mind racing with possibilities and risks. "Of course, Dr. Mercer. We will transmit all relevant information and arrange for your transport. A spacecraft, the Celestial Arrow, is being prepared to collect you. Will you help us?" Trex asked, his silvery eyes pleading. Evelyn took a deep breath, considering the magnitude of the request. Her passion for helping animals had always driven her decisions, and this was no ordinary call for help. It was a call to save a creature essential to the balance of an entire world. "Yes, Ambassador, I will help," she affirmed with resolve. "Thank you, Dr. Mercer. You cannot imagine how much this means to our people and the galaxy. We await your arrival with great anticipation," Trex responded, his relief palpable even through the hologram. As the transmission ended, Evelyn turned to her assistant, a smile spreading across her face, tinged with nervous excitement. "It looks like we're going to space," she said. The rest of the evening was a whirlwind of preparations. Evelyn analyzed the data sent by the Intergalactic Council, familiarizing herself with the biology of the Sharian Hydra, a creature she had never encountered before. She packed her most advanced medical equipment, readying herself for every imaginable challenge. With her heart pounding with anticipation and determination, Dr. Evelyn Mercer stepped out of her clinic that night and gazed at the stars. Unbeknownst to her, her adventure was only beginning. That evening, under a clear, star-studded sky, Dr. Evelyn Mercer arrived at the launch platform where the Celestial Arrow was docked. The spacecraft was a marvel of interstellar engineering. Sleek and silent, its hull shimmering like a mirage against the dark sky. Designed for speed and comfort, it was equipped to traverse stellar systems in what seemed like mere hours. Captain Arat Singh, an experienced pilot from the Galactic Alliance, greeted Evelyn warmly. "Welcome aboard, Dr. Mercer. We've been briefed on your mission. The Hydra is vital to the balance of our galaxy, and we're here to ensure you reach Sixa safely," he said. Evelyn nodded, her eyes wide with a mix of awe and nervousness, as she followed the captain onto the ship. The interior of the Celestial Arrow was as impressive as its exterior, with corridors lined with luminescent panels and screens displaying stellar maps and other data. After introductions were made and Evelyn was shown to her quarters, the ship began its ascent. The initial thrust was smooth, a testament to the advanced technology that made space travel as routine as air travel back on Earth. During the journey, Evelyn spent much of her time in the ship's extensive library, delving into the archives on Sharian wildlife and, more specifically, the Sharian Hydra. The creature was a central figure in Sharian mythology, revered not only for its power but also for its wisdom. It was said to be as old as the planet itself, its birth intertwined with the creation of Shuria. The ship's science officer, Orcs, an Andromedan with keen vision, joined her in her research. The Hydra's biology is fascinating, Orcs commented while examining a hologram of the creature's cellular structure. Its regenerative capabilities far surpass anything we've encountered, but something is inhibiting its cellular regeneration. It's as if its very essence is being drained. Evelyn appreciated the insight. "Do we have any theories about what could be causing this?" she asked, frowning in concentration. "We suspect it could be microbial or even viral, but nothing in our databases matches the symptoms," Orcs replied, adjusting the hologram to highlight the affected areas. "Your expertise will be crucial in identifying and countering the cause." As hours turned into days, the celestial arrow approached Sixa. The planet was a jewel in space, with swirling blue oceans and vast green continents. As they descended into the atmosphere, Evelyn could see that the planet's weather systems were in turmoil, with storms raging across its surface, a visual testament to the Hydra's poor health. Captain Arad announced their final approach to Sharian's capital, where the Council had prepared a landing site near the Hydra's sanctuary. "They're eager to meet you, Dr. Mercer," he said. Evelyn gathered her medical kits, packed with her usual tools and some specialized equipment designed for treating non-terrestrial life. As the ship landed and the hatch opened, she took her first steps onto an alien world. The fresh air, tinged with a hint of ozone, greeted her, and she was met by a delegation of Shikshians, whose subtly glowing skin reflected the planet's twin suns. The lead figure stepped forward and introduced himself as Minister Seiler, head of planetary affairs. "Dr. Mercer, we are indebted to you for answering our call," Minister Seiler said solemnly. "The Hydra is just beyond this point. Please follow me." Taking a deep breath, Evelyn followed, ready to face the most revered and feared creature in the galaxy. As her mind raced with potential solutions, she realized she was no longer just a veterinarian from Earth. She was a beacon of hope for an entire world. The minister led Dr. Evelyn Mercer through Sharia's lush, green landscape. The path wound between towering trees with iridescent leaves, under which strange and colorful creatures flitted and scurried, adding to the alien beauty of the planet. However, the sense of urgency was palpable as they made their way to the Sharian Hydra's sanctuary. As they approached a large, naturally formed enclosure made of intertwined tree trunks and thick vines, Evelyn could feel a change in the atmosphere. The air felt charged, heavy with a kind of solemnity. The sanctuary was surrounded by Shurian guards and scientists, all of whom appeared anxious and exhausted from their efforts to stabilize the guardian of their planet. Minister Seiler paused at the entrance, his expression grave. "Dr. Mercer, what lies beyond this door is sacred to us. The Hydra is not just a creature. It is part of Shuria's soul. Its illness has caused the environmental chaos you see. The storms, the seismic activity, it's all connected." Evelyn nodded, understanding the weight of her mission. She stepped through the gate and saw the Sharian Hydra for the first time. The sight was breathtaking. The creature was enormous, easily the size of a skyscraper, with multiple heads that rose like serpentine towers. Each head bore a crown of vibrant, feather-like scales, though they now appeared dull and lifeless. The Hydra's eyes were half-closed, and its breathing was shallow and labored. The team of Shurian veterinarians and biologists approached Evelyn, their faces marked with relief and hope at her arrival. Dr. Lewin, the chief veterinarian, stepped forward with a data tablet in hand. "Dr. Mercer, we've done everything we could to stabilize the Hydra, but its condition continues to deteriorate. Here is all the data we've collected." Evelyn took the tablet and quickly skimmed through the graphs and notes. The creature's symptoms were truly strange. rapid degeneration of regenerative tissue, inexplicable loss of vitality, and plummeting energy levels. It was unlike anything she had dealt with before. Turning to Dr. Lewin, she asked, "Has there been any change in its environment or diet that coincided with the onset of these symptoms?" Dr. Lewin shook his head. "Nothing significant. However, we did notice that the symptoms began shortly after a meteor shower 2 months ago. We thought it might be a coincidence, but now..." Evelyn pondered this new information. A meteor shower? It's possible it brought something with it. Perhaps a pathogen or a toxin that we're not equipped to detect with standard tests. We should consider that angle. Approaching the Hydra cautiously, Evelyn's presence was calm but assured. As she drew nearer, one of the Hydra's heads weakly rose, its eyes meeting hers. There was a moment of connection, a silent understanding that she was there to help. "Let's start by taking new samples," Evelyn suggested as she prepared her equipment for a thorough examination. "I'll need blood, tissue, and anything else that looks abnormal. We'll test everything, no matter how unlikely it seems." The Shikshans watched in awe as Evelyn worked with steady hands and complete focus. She collected samples with the precision of an experienced professional, her movements careful and respectful to avoid causing the Hydra additional stress. By the time the twin suns began to set, casting a golden glow over the sanctuary, Evelyn felt the weight of the task ahead. She was on an alien planet, attempting to save a creature of mythical importance, a creature whose life was intertwined with the fate of an entire world. Placing her final vial of samples into a secure case, Evelyn looked at the Hydra and silently promised that she would do everything in her power to restore its health. The road ahead was uncertain, but her determination was unwavering. She wasn't just fighting for the life of one creature. She was fighting for the life of Shuria itself. In the improvised laboratory set up within the confines of the Sharian Hydra's sanctuary, Dr. Evelyn Mercer began the meticulous process of analyzing the samples she had collected. Surrounded by advanced diagnostic equipment provided by both Earth and Shurian technology, she worked alongside a collaborative team of Shurian scientists and her Earth assistant. The lab was abuzz with activity. Screens displayed complex biochemical structures and real-time data streams, offering a comprehensive view of the Hydra's physiological state. Evelyn focused intently on the blood samples under a high-powered microscope, enhanced to detect even the slightest molecular anomalies. Adjusting the settings, she noticed unusual microbial signatures, tiny, almost imperceptible foreign bodies that didn't match any known biological database from Earth or Shuria. "Look at this," she called to Dr. Lewin, pointing at the translucent, glowing shapes on the screen. "These aren't normal. See how they interact with the Hydra cells. They're leaching the energy produced during cellular regeneration." Dr. Lewin leaned in, his brow furrowed as he observed the activity. "Incredible," he murmured. "We've never seen anything like this. Could it be extraterrestrial? Perhaps brought here by the meteor shower you mentioned." Evelyn continued her analysis, comparing the samples against the extensive libraries available. "I think we're dealing with a xenopathogen of alien origin," she hypothesized. That would explain why our initial tests couldn't identify it. The team conducted further tests, isolating the pathogen and running simulations to understand its properties and behavior. Evelyn theorized that the organism thrived on the energy generated by the Hydra's regenerative processes, essentially starving the creature from within. With a clearer picture of the pathogen, she shifted her focus to examining environmental data from the aftermath of the meteor shower. She and her team analyzed soil, air, and water samples from around the sanctuary, looking for traces of the same alien microbe. Hours of cross-referencing and data analysis finally yielded confirmation. The pathogen was indeed alien and highly aggressive. "We've identified the culprit," Evelyn declared, her exhaustion tempered by excitement. "Now we need to develop a treatment." Gathering with the Shurian medical team, Evelyn brainstormed potential solutions. "We need something that targets the pathogen without harming the Hydra," she explained. "It's going to be a delicate balance, especially given the Hydra's unique biology." The discussion led them to Shurian archives, where ancient texts and medical records were examined for historical precedents. Surprisingly, a centuries-old account described a similar affliction in another mythical creature, treated successfully with an extract from a native plant known for its potent medicinal properties. Intrigued, Evelyn inquired, "Does this plant still exist? Can we get it?" "Yes," Dr. Lewin confirmed. "It grows in the deep jungles of Shuria. It's rare and difficult to harvest, but it might be our best chance." Determined, Evelyn made her decision. "Prepare an expedition. We're going into the jungle. If this plant can help us create a cure, then that's our next step." Time is not on our side. As night fell over Shuria, the laboratory buzzed with renewed energy and hope. Evelyn knew the challenges ahead would be immense, but with the pathogen identified, she felt one step closer to saving the Hydra and restoring the planet's balance. The journey into Shuria's jungles would be perilous, but it was a necessary risk to save a creature whose fate was intertwined with the destiny of an entire world. The jungle of Shuria was both breathtakingly beautiful and intimidating. Dr. Evelyn Mercer, accompanied by Dr. Lewin, a group of Shursian guards and skilled botanists, ventured into the heart of this lush, untamed wilderness. The foliage was dense, creating a vibrant canopy that filtered sunlight into a kaleidoscope of green and gold hues. The air buzzed with the sounds of unseen creatures and carried the earthy aroma of damp vegetation. Evelyn carried a portable field kit, her eyes scanning her surroundings with a mix of wonder and caution. The path, barely visible under the thick undergrowth, was treacherous. Roots and vines sprawled across the forest floor like natural traps, demanding constant vigilance. The team had to be wary not only of the challenging terrain, but also of potentially dangerous wildlife lurking within the shadows. "This way," Dr. Mercer called one of the Shursian botanists, pointing toward a narrow clearing. "The plant we're looking for, the caddis herb, usually grows in less dense areas where natural light reaches the ground." As they progressed, Evelyn listened to the botanist explain the plant's unique characteristics. The caddis herb was renowned for its intense vitality, capable of surviving harsh conditions and regenerating rapidly when damaged. Its properties made it an ideal candidate for synthesizing a treatment for the Hydra. After hours of searching, the team finally discovered a cluster of plants with luminous blue leaves hidden in a sunlit patch. "The caddis herb," whispered one of the botanists in awe. The plant's leaves glowed faintly, pulsating gently as if breathing with the jungle itself. Evelyn approached the plant with care, taking note of its remarkable features. "We need to harvest as much as we can without damaging its ability to regenerate," she instructed, carefully cutting the leaves and placing them into a collection pouch. Suddenly, the ground trembled beneath their feet. The team froze, their eyes darting around as the rustling of foliage grew louder. Moments later, a massive razorbeak Shursian, a territorial creature with a formidable beak and sharp claws, emerged from the trees, its gaze fixed on the group. The guards quickly stepped forward, forming a protective barrier between Evelyn and the razorbeak. Using non-lethal deterrence, they managed to drive the creature away without causing harm. Evelyn's heart raced, but her focus remained unshaken. "Let's finish up here. We've got what we came for." With enough samples secured, the team began their journey back to the sanctuary. The return trip was uneventful, the encounter with the razorbeak a stark reminder of the dangers concealed within the jungle's beauty. Back in the lab, Evelyn immediately set to work. Using extracts from the caddis herb, she began the delicate process of synthesizing a potential antidote. The herb's regenerative properties provided a promising foundation for the treatment, but aligning it with the Hydra's complex biology was no small feat. Through a series of controlled experiments, Evelyn adjusted the concentration and delivery method of the extract, testing it on cellular samples from the Hydra. After numerous adjustments and tense moments of waiting for reactions, she observed a positive response. The Hydra cells began regenerating at a normal rate when exposed to the treatment. A wave of euphoria swept through the team as they reviewed the results. "It's working," Evelyn exclaimed. barely containing her excitement. This might be it. Knowing what was at stake, Evelyn prepared to administer the treatment to the Hydra. While the success in the lab was promising, the real test lay ahead: how the creature would respond. As the twin moons of Sharia rose, bathing the sanctuary in soft light, Evelyn readied herself for what was to come. Under the pale light of Sharia's twin moons, Dr. Evelyn Mercer worked tirelessly in the temporary laboratory adjacent to the Hydra's sanctuary. The successful cellular tests had provided a glimmer of hope, but translating those results into a large-scale treatment for the Hydra was the real challenge. The laboratory buzzed with cautious optimism as Evelyn and her team synthesized the antidote on a larger scale. Evelyn meticulously transformed the active compounds extracted from the catus herb into a potent serum. Her approach was methodical, ensuring every step preserved the herb's medicinal properties while enhancing its potency to combat the alien pathogen. Stabilizing the injectable serum is critical, Evelyn explained to Dr. Lewin as they calibrated the equipment. The Hydra's regenerative capabilities are phenomenal, and if we administer the serum correctly, it should reinforce its natural defenses against the pathogen. The team worked through the night, employing advanced biotechnological tools to perfect and stabilize the serum. Evelyn monitored pH levels, observed the bioactivity of the solution, and conducted rapid decomposition tests to ensure long-term stability. By dawn, the final version of the serum was ready, a shimmering blue liquid that faintly glowed, a testament to the luminous properties of the catus herb. Evelyn held the vial up to the light, studying it with a mix of determination and apprehension. "This is it," she murmured. The Shursian Council, informed of their progress, arrived at the laboratory to observe the preparations. Minister Seiler, representing the Shursian people, expressed their gratitude and hope. "Dr. Mercer, all of Shuria watches and waits, knowing that your work may change the fate of our world." Evelyn nodded solemnly. "We've done everything possible to ensure this works. The next step is to administer it to the Hydra and closely monitor its response." Accompanied by Dr. Lewin and a team of Shursian medical experts, Evelyn approached the Hydra. The colossal creature lay weakened within its enclosure, its breathing shallow and labored. Despite its fragile state, its immense size and presence were awe-inspiring. Evelyn's hands were steady as she prepared the injection mechanism. The process required precision. The serum had to be delivered at the correct dose and location to maximize its efficacy. "We're ready," she announced. With a nod from her team, she initiated the serum delivery. The glowing liquid coursed through the system and entered the Hydra's bloodstream. The team waited in tense silence, watching for any signs of reaction. At first, there was no visible change. Then, slowly, the Hydra's breathing grew deeper. One of its heads stirred, rising slightly from the ground, and its eyes flickered open, revealing a spark of life. Evelyn and the team monitored the creature's vital signs as they began to stabilize and strengthen. "It's responding," Evelyn said, relief washing over her. "The serum is working. Energy levels are rising, and cellular regeneration is returning to normal." The Shikshans around her exchanged looks of astonishment and joy. Minister Seiler approached Evelyn, tears of gratitude in his eyes. "Dr. Mercer, you've done it. You've given us hope." As the sun rose over Sharia, casting a warm glow over the sanctuary, Evelyn allowed herself a moment to savor the success of her efforts. The task was far from over. They needed to monitor the Hydra's recovery and ensure the treatment's long-term effectiveness. But for now, she had achieved what once seemed impossible: saving a creature vital to the balance of an entire world. As the twin suns of Sharia rose higher in the sky, casting their golden light over the sanctuary, the Sharian Hydra showed remarkable signs of recovery. Each of its massive heads began moving with greater frequency, and the dull, lifeless scales started regaining their iridescent glow. The atmosphere around the sanctuary shifted from tension to cautious optimism. Dr. Evelyn Mercer and her team meticulously monitored every aspect of the Hydra's recovery. Its vital signs stabilized, Its energy levels surged, and its regenerative processes resumed at a normal rate. Evelyn, ever thorough, implemented a structured regimen of follow-up treatments. She modified subsequent doses of the serum, combining them with enriched nutrients to bolster the Hydra's overall health and vitality. Continuous observation is critical, Evelyn instructed the team. We must ensure there are no relapses or resistance to the serum. News of the Hydra's recovery spread rapidly across Sharia and beyond. Soon, delegations and media crews from other planets arrived at the sanctuary to witness the once-impossible feat, the story of a human veterinarian saving a creature of immense cultural and ecological importance resonated throughout the galaxy. Minister Seiler invited Evelyn to address the Intergalactic Council, a rare honor for someone from Earth. Standing before the assembly, Evelyn shared her findings and the innovative treatment approach that had led to the Hydra's recovery. Her speech emphasized the importance of collaboration and the interconnectedness of life across worlds. The council members responded with applause and admiration, acknowledging the breakthrough as a testament to the power of interstellar unity. Back at the sanctuary, Evelyn's bond with the Hydra grew evident. The creature responded to her presence with subtle gestures of recognition and trust, an acknowledgement of the care she had provided. Evelyn felt deeply connected to this alien world and its majestic guardian. As the Hydra's recovery stabilized, Evelyn took a rare moment of respite. Standing beneath the vast Shursian sky, she reflected on her journey, on the life she had temporarily left behind, and the extraordinary experiences that had broadened her perspective. She thought of Earth, her clinic, and the ordinary yet meaningful work she had once considered her life's purpose. Now, she realized her purpose extended far beyond the boundaries of her home planet. That night, Evelyn watched as one of the Hydra's heads playfully splashed in a nearby lake. She smiled, knowing that her work had not only saved a creature's life, but also preserved the balance of an entire world. The experience had deepened her compassion and broadened her understanding of the delicate interplay between all living things, whether on Earth or light years away. The Hydra's full recovery brought visible changes to Sharia. The violent storms that had once ravaged the planet began to subside, and the seismic activity that had threatened its civilizations calmed. It was as though the planet itself sighed in relief, its rhythm restored by the revitalized guardian. Sharia's ecosystems, which had shown signs of stress and decline, began to thrive once more. Local wildlife flourished, their populations rebounding as the natural balance returned. The Shursian people celebrated the Hydra's recovery with grand festivals and ceremonies. Evelyn was honored as a hero, showered with gratitude and traditional gifts. Despite the festivities, her focus remained on the Hydra's well-being. She continued to monitor its progress, ensuring the recovery was sustainable and irreversible. One afternoon, while walking through a recovering forest near the sanctuary, Minister Seiler joined Evelyn. "Dr. Mercer," he said, his voice filled with profound gratitude, "your work has given us more than just a Hydra's life. You've shown us the fragile connections between all living beings and how the fate of one creature can shape the destiny of an entire world." Evelyn nodded, contemplating his words. "It's a lesson about balance and responsibility," she replied. "On Earth, we also struggle with how our actions affect our world. Seeing the change here is inspiring. It proves that restoration is possible with the right effort." The minister smiled. "And to think the solution came from an alien. Perhaps there's much more we can learn from each other, ways our worlds can help one another." As Evelyn's mission in Sharia reached its natural conclusion, the Hydra not only survived but thrived. Its vibrant presence reaffirmed its role as the planet's keystone species. Before her departure, the Shursian Council organized a formal ceremony to honor her contributions. Evelyn was awarded the Medal of Harmony, a prestigious symbol of peace and unity. Crafted from Sharia's rare crystalline minerals, the medal glowed like the planet's twin suns. Standing before the council and Shursian citizens, Evelyn felt a profound connection to the galaxy. "This experience has taught me that the health of one affects the health of all," she said. What happens on Sharia matters not only to the Shikshans, but to all of us in this interconnected universe. As she prepared to leave Sharia, Evelyn's heart was full of memories and ideas about how to apply what she had learned back on Earth. Inspired by her methods, the Shikshans expressed interest in ongoing collaboration, proposing an exchange of knowledge and research that would benefit both worlds. The celestial arrow prepared for its return journey, and Evelyn took one last look at the thriving sanctuary. She knew she was leaving Sharia better than she had found it. Most importantly, she was returning home with a deeper understanding of her place in the cosmos, a veterinarian from Earth who had become a bridge between worlds. The journey back to Earth was peaceful, giving Evelyn time to reflect on her extraordinary adventure. She organized her research and planned how to share her findings with the global veterinary and scientific community. Her experience treating the Hydra promised to revolutionize how humanity approached its own ecological and biological challenges. Upon her return, Evelyn was greeted as a hero. Family, friends, and colleagues welcomed her warmly, celebrating her safe return and groundbreaking achievements. Though now a celebrity, Evelyn remained grounded, dividing her time between public engagements and her beloved clinic. Her newfound fame brought new opportunities to collaborate with global organizations, advocating for sustainability and the protection of Earth's own key species. In quieter moments, Evelyn would gaze at the stars, thinking of the Hydra and the profound bond they had formed. She knew her journey had been about more than saving a single creature. It had been about understanding the interconnectedness of all life. The legacy of her interstellar mission lived on, not only in academic journals and conference halls, but in the lives she touched and the minds she inspired. Evelyn Mercer had become more than a veterinarian. She was a symbol of hope, a testament to the transformative power of compassion and curiosity. As the sun set over her hometown, its golden glow reminiscent of Sharia's twin suns, Evelyn felt a profound sense of purpose. The universe was vast, and her journey far from over, but she knew she was exactly where she needed to be, ready for whatever call for help the stars might send her next.